Hey there, it's Chris, and welcome back to the Kai Shulin project, where I kind of like this intro. It makes it a little more personal having the camera facing this way. But remember the last couple times when we've been doing the model, we've been kind of doing some rough details on both the legs. We finally got the two caught up with each other, and it's still just in the blocking out phase. So this time we're going to start actually adding a little more detail. We're going to be kind of refining everything a little bit as we go. And with this part done, it'd be nice to do the belt next. But instead, I think what I'm going to do is actually get this light gray area. You can see on the side over here on the pants, kind of the yoga pant kind of part. Get some of the folds and whatnot in there and start actually making this look like the yoga pants that they need to be. Give me 1 second. I need to turn you around to where you're actually useful. And that's going to be our goal for today, is generally, make the yoga pants. And then after that, then we're going to bring this black section, or the darker section, up here. Because right now, if we kind of mess up, we have a little more playroom under here. Whatever happens on this side's going to be hidden. So then we'll bring that up. We'll bring the belt across. Then we'll start patterning, go down, and kind of finish this off as we go. So, first thing I want to do is, at least we're still blocking, so we're still doing big old blocking stuff. So I was doing measurements off of her on the side, off of, not you, off of, well, the front version of you, which is buried in my list of images down there, where the belt is geographically located. If we take from this point here, where the two kind of come in on the bottom, to the middle of the chest, the belt starts pretty much exactly halfway between those, which on this model, that's approximately 3 inches. It's just shy of 3 inches. So if we go just shy of 1.5 inches, yeah, right about there is going to be approximately the top of our belt. So I just did a real quick down and dirty image or thing of that, just to kind of get an idea if that felt right on her. Kind of brought that around. I broke my piece, so whatever. And just kind of get an idea that kind of feels about right for what it needs to be. Maybe up just a hair to get a little higher on the hips, but we're not that far off. So already I'm liking that. I'm just gonna, just for right now, I'm just gonna put that on there. We're not gonna keep this on forever. Well, I might keep it on for this session, just kind of give myself a visual on what we're going for. But that's generally where our belt line is going to be, so we're going to be working anything down from that. Now, if you're working with, remember Bang doing his, or working anybody with kind of, I don't know, more kind of loose-fitting clothes, wherever you had these big kind of folds going in. As you get more into like elastic type wear, like this is, I know it's not, but it's like military issue yoga pants for her. It's what it is. Yeah, any little kind of fold you're going to have is going to be really kind of microscopic. They're going to be short, and they're going to kind of tighten themselves out real quick. If we come back on this one, if I were to have zoomed in a little more, you can see kind of up at the top, it's a lot of little kind of folds that disappear real quick. If we come back on, if we take the jacket off of that one, this is back to chapter 3, where she goes and gets in a fight with Raz. Is probably the best view we have of it. But again, it's a lot of subtle little lines that go in, but nothing super big that comes out of it, which for the most part is fine. This is going to be rendered as a light kind of gray, or a grayish kind of color, which is good, because what's going to make it stand out is the shadow from all these is what's going to help sell kind of the look. But at the same time, if this were to be a darker color, forget it. It's never really going to be seen. Now, one thing I have is we have the thigh gap in here, but this is going to be stretching across that, so we're going to need to kind of fill that a little bit. As we can see on the actual image, it does kind of stretch down from one side down just across a little bit to the other. So we're going to start with that. Try to get this at least. I didn't need to actually add that much to it. Didn't need to add that much. That said, I'm not really sure what what the length of this video is going to be. I kind of want to go back and do a couple shorter ones again that actually seem to work to at least get my thing on YouTube. And find anybody who prior to this had never seen my stuff or wasn't interested in it. That actually, the half-hour ones, the 20-minute one I put on last week or last weekend, actually did kind of get this on the map. Although at the same time, I got a lot more views, but the hours combined is still the same. So yeah, I got more views with that, but at the same time, those of you who have been watching up to the 6 minutes that I am right now, you are the ones who are watching all the other stuff before anyway. So, not 100% sure that was success coming out. But all I'm going to do here is add just a number of kind of little guys. Oop. Make a couple of these little kind of little snakes. Kind of start them from the side. They're not starting from nowhere. There is a seam that runs down the inside of the leg, and that's actually what they're springing off of. So I probably should actually render that part. That would probably be a super cool idea. But we'll get there. So here's a kind of add that first, and then I'm just going to go and crimp the two sides of each one. This middle one here is a little larger than it should be. So what we can do is we can divide it into a couple. And realize we don't come all the way up here. It does peter out, because again it'll be kind of crinkled by the seam, but it tightens as it goes across. So these don't last very long on here. Or the life of these seams is very, very short. I feel like I'm messing all of this up. And this is going to be another one of those sessions where it doesn't look right, it doesn't look right, it doesn't look right, then all of a sudden, bam, there it is, we got it. And there's not much in between that's going to happen. Now, seams or little folds like this can be done additive, like I'm doing now. You kind of add a little something to it and smooth it out. They can be done subtractive as well. You can kind of dig in and come out. But being as this is already basically skin tight down here, I really don't want to be subtracting much from that. So most of this is going to be additive. And if I could make any of this look better rather than worse. So part of the difficulty with me trying to do this thing on camera is, again, I'm nearsighted. If you're new to this, haven't heard that discussion before, I'm nearsighted, so usually kind of a lot of the finer details I'm better doing off camera, where I don't have this thing in front of my face and I'm already like, I don't know, 9 inches to a foot away from me at any given point in time. It's nicer when it's a little closer. So, but I'm going to do the best I can on this right here. And there will probably be, expect this to not be 100% on camera. I will be touching stuff. You better believe I'm going to be touching stuff up off camera from this. Yeah, so we have some on one side, got to do a little bit on the other. Like I said, I would like to do a couple more of the shorter things, but I think they're going to be very, I don't say detail specific, kind of action specific maybe would be the way to go. Well, already this is kind of looking like pants now, so that's a plus. I know when I do the patterning one is going to be a shorter session because I just want to have something that focuses on how do you do pattern stuff. And I'm sure there are going to be other ones that are going to be very kind of specific in what they, or task specific, I think was the phrase I was going off of before. I have to be at least a little careful now of what I touch. But I'm not sure if this classifies as task specific or not, because this again is very kind of detailed oriented to this particular character rather than just be a general overview. I could do a separate one just on general overview on folds, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm the greatest person to do that one with. I think I still need a little more practice on that, but we are getting there. It's like I put it on, you kind of move this thing around to kind of see how it works in the light. Or you get like the right light to kind of see what's working, what's not. So you're going to be getting a lot of me kind of flipping her in or out and around quite a bit here. So just bear with that a little bit. Okay, that's looking a little better. That one's not bad, it just got very blocky at the end. And everything that kind of was smooth before is now not smooth, which is super cool. Okay, what I should actually do is put the seam down here, which actually I'm not going to have you in here for. But she does have one that goes right down. It's going to be easier. Yeah, you can see there's one that goes right down the middle. And this is going to come all the way up the back, in which case there's going to be more stuff going on back here, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then there's one that comes down the inside of the legs. So we have through there. Oop. So we have through that. Okay. Do I have my other? Nope. No, don't know where the other one went. All right, don't have all my tools on me right now. That's also kind of cool. But you're gonna come up. You come up there. That one's a little kind of double seam. And we get kind of the same thing on this side, which, don't worry, if you can't see it, I could barely see myself doing that one as well. Kind of comes down, angles. So we have that. Then we get one that comes down. And that's generally where all of this is going to be kind of coming from. So at least we have a visual on what we're dealing with. Now, in addition to that, we're going to have stuff like on the knee. Generally speaking, it's going to be in two different areas. It's going to be a little bit kind of on the back of the knee. Ah, didn't get off my hand. Oh, you 100% can't see what I'm doing right there. I'm like peeking around the camera, forgetting that I need the camera to kind of be my eyes too. Because, yeah, I can see it, but it helps if you guys get visual as well. And I think that went a little too far. That's okay. Okay, so we have a bunch of very badly placed pieces right there. Let's bring you. That's it. Just take the whole thing off. Why don't you? Perfect. Okay, you come down. This one goes out too far. We don't need it going all the way. Because this one's not actually springing from the point this time. This is actually springing from the back of the leg because it's bent just a little bit, so it gets crinkled in the back, because that's how folds work. I'm trying to be very careful not to hit the loops as I'm doing this. This is where I'm starting to get into that point where it's be nice to maybe have a heat gun and not have to wait this long between hardenings. Because again, I haven't hardened anything yet. But at the same time, this has worked for me for so long as is that I'm just kind of getting used to this kind of little game we play as we get into this phase of things. So, I don't know. Eventually I probably will. It's just not on my immediate list of tools that I require right this instant. Okay, so we have that there. Let's get this one kind of into this. Yeah, smoothing things in when you're in like a very tight space like this, when you have a lot of little things kind of coming together, it gets a little iffy sometimes. At least it feels like it to me. Eventually it works its way out, but it just feels needlessly hard. Alright, so we got the inside edge of it kind of working. We need to smooth this outside so it kind of goes to something, or goes to nothing in the case over here. Don't hit that. I'm not going to lose these hoops. I mean, they are literally like stapled in. Just, I'm tired of hitting them with my hand. Let's see. Right now they're all kind of going lateral, so let's move that up just a little bit. That one stays there, and the bottom one kind of goes down. Okay, you can see just little things like that. Again, I'm going to smooth that out off camera. I can do so much on here, but we can smooth some things. And now, even if we take this one off, come on, take you off, you can see there's other ones that kind of come underneath the pad and kind of by the knee here. There are a bunch of these that are going in. So they have one kind of riding up the top of the knee. There's probably one on the bottom of the knee. So we're just gonna, and again, these folds are gonna help us kind of also give a little differentiation between what the light gray versus kind of the dark gray / blackish colors are gonna be. So this is gonna give a texture difference between the two, as well as anything else, because there are folds in the other part. They're just a lot more subtle, and they're going to be a lot less visible, whatever ones there are in there, if only because, again, when you get a little fold like this, folds are generally going to be visible by their shadows they cast at the end, And if your color is black to start with, you're going to have just a hard time seeing it by the time all is said and done. Okay, this one is coming out pretty badly. But that's okay. That's okay. Just kind of work it a little bit, and we get a little something kind of up in there. Again, we don't need much. I do need this to read as separate. And while we're on that, this also kind of has a little extra pleat that comes in. So if we have that, this also gets a little extra line that comes down. Just a little bit of this. Yeah, these are kind of little details. And actually, this looking a little funky on the side, which the camera's not picking up, is okay because that's, again, kind of another fabric-y kind of piece. And so it not being 100% smooth actually isn't a super big problem. Because the other side's going to get it too. There will be a little bit of a difference. That I don't need the super smooth. These kind of padding parts in the middle, they're going to read a little nicer. But these pieces, the part that goes up here, well, I guess there's not really one on the side of the, I was like, oh, the one down on the bottom here. No, there is no one on down on the bottom there. It doesn't exist. You can have a little bit on this. Now we still want this to kind of read as tucked in. And again, we're going to go and give a little bit of a line there and make sure that is still visible. This one I'm essentially just kind of folding in so it looks like it's kind of starting from where it comes underneath this, the band on the side, which is generally where anything of that nature is going to be starting. So that should be all right. It has a little bit of something going on there. I can give just a little bit more on this side to really kind of highlight that this is pulling down on the pieces. And again, as we do it, we want to round off any kind of edges. We don't want super tight edges coming around. But again, it's those little things that are going to make it feel a little more like actual fabric. And let's see, what else do we have that I can see easily on this? So I'm not really seeing much coming from my image on the side. Up here still feels 100% wrong, but let's see, let me have my own image on the side I'm going off of. Do we have anything here? Yes, actually we'll have more going on here. Once I put this piece on, we have stuff that comes off of that as well. So this will look like it's not fully in there yet, but it's going to come. And actually, this itself feels like it wants to be a little more pronounced as it comes up. so we can do that. I do have you here. Let's not lose the camera off the table. That would be very not good. Great action shot for you guys, but not good for me. Okay, so if I have that going on, we can then do the same thing to the other leg. Or actually, what I could do is finish this little part right here and actually just do the upper part and just get this whole thing done. You know what? I think this one's going to wind up being another full session again. You're going to know the second you see it on the video going live, because you'll see the timestamp on it. But just keep in mind, there will be some shorter ones coming up in the not too distant future, which are going to be more just, yeah, based off of highlighting certain things. Okay, so that's in. Yep. Okay, what am I did that leg, I just did this one. So we want to smooth, well, quote unquote, smooth that out. Just kind of rounding off that edge a little. Alright, I have dead air time. I'm not talking about anything. This is bad. This is bad. This is not how I'm supposed to be doing these things. I'm supposed to be talking. Okay, so if we have that, we have that. Yes, there are more that go in that leg. Let's move on to something different for the second half here. So let's get the dark portion up this side. I can finish kind of going off of that. And then we kind of start moving into belt territory. I believe we want this to be a 4 in the end on this guy, and I keep pulling the handle out. So I'm going to start with the 6. We go down to a 4. And I'm going to realize, no, that is enough. I was about to say, I need to get myself some more clay. This will be enough. Okay, so we're going to do what we did last time on this, which is put it over, kind of cut it in place as need be, and now I actually do kind of want some more. Actually do one a little bit more. I feel like I haven't had to open up some more of this in a while. Sorry for all the crinkly noises. Oop. Let's get you off of there. Can add you to this, move you off to the side. Once again, bring you to 6 just to kind of get this thing started. Run it through a couple times just to kind of knead it a little bit. AKA soften it up just a little. And okay, 5, 4. We are on 4. Okay, this is way too much. Way too much. Just get rid of that. What's the... Okay, so we have our max thickness that we need. I don't need a lot of this. Let's get rid of some more of that. And I can go up above. Well, actually, what I could do on this is just so I know where it is. I can just kind of make a rough line there. That will get me an idea. Get me an idea of what I want. Okay, so now this one, it goes in line with this, theoretically comes up, it goes through the knee, so I just need to follow that line up here. So I'm going to start a little bit further over. We are going very high. That's okay. And if we come back to her back, you can see it doesn't go very far around the back. So I don't need to worry about that, but I do need you to angle yourself a little bit more. Okay, so what do we have? I see this. I see that coming down. And if I'm not exact on this, that's not a problem. This can stretch and do its thing. I can add more, take stuff off, so don't think I got that. Okay, I didn't get that 100% right. We can take a little more off. I think that was a little too much. Yep, a little too much, but that's fine. Okay, you're gonna need to stretch down a little bit. But okay, that at least gets the lower portion in there. So now we need to bring this. Well, I can kind of find where this belt is roughly here. Alright, so that's roughly where the belt is. Now we can finally go up. To that. So that gets the front kind of where it needs to be. And what do we have on the back? The back starts here, and it looks like it kind of goes around and in. Something like that? Question mark? Something like that. Okay, so what do we have? I'm just lightly pushing it in just to get the air pocket things out. Kind of smooths it down a little bit. Let's see, we need just a little bit right in there, because I didn't cut it right. That's the nice thing with clay. Even if you don't get it right, it's very, very easy to fix. Yeah, that's the difference between sculpting versus carving. The sculpting, you can always keep kind of adding it on. Carving, you're kind of stuck. Go too much, it's like, well, there you go. That was fun. Okay, this is going to get kind of the same treatment that we've had before. I'm going to push in just a little bit on this. So it's kind of tucking in under the band. This is also why patterning stuff is going to be done kind of right at the end, because my hands are still going everywhere, and I don't want to mess that up when I get to it. That's why we're working our way towards that, but we're not there yet. That is the goal, because once we get there, this whole thing is going to pop, I hope, in a good way. It's been a while since I've had to do a patterning type thing like that, so it should be interesting to see the result at that point, but we getting there. Okay, so that's not looking great. All right, so we have that, just like on the bottom. This gets its own little that gets the second little cut. Same thing on this on this side. I guess I've resolved myself to not talk about anything outside of this sculpture stuff today. There's been zero side discussion about anything else, so it's one of those types of days. Okay, so made that, fold that down a little bit. Oh, we didn't do the same on this side. So let's do the same on this one. Okay, so now we have a start of this. So what are we working with? Actually, no, I didn't want to put that one on. I wanted to come back to you, who is, I have another image for me to look at on my computer. I need to move things over. And okay, so just like the other one, this also gets its crinkles and wrinkles and all that type of stuff too. That's the way it is. So let's see, let's get some of this. While I'm gathering my pieces, you can at least look at something halfway decent. Okay, actually that looks pretty ugly on the camera. Or maybe it's just because it's on one side, it's super smooth now compared to parts that aren't smooth at all. So that could be part of it. Let's see, so this is, I need to move my image over just a little bit. So I see you have some stuff kind of coming off this side, just kind of coming up from being tucked in down here. The other side has a number of other things, but this one's really just has the couple things coming off of it, not much. Then again, a lot of this is stretching, given you can see what's going on there. So not much of this is going to be in need of this kind of service. Whoa, we got this thing so wrong. Let's do this where I can actually... I'm sorry half this thing is upside down, this video too. Which it may not affect you that much, but it does affect me when I'm trying to find things for thumbnails. And I realize all my images are upside down or sideways or back and forth. I'm like, this is what you guys are actually watching? That's not good. I should probably do something about that as I say it right now without actually doing anything about that. Alright, that one feels like it's too much. So let's just take some of that off. Take the top of it kind of off. All the way off would be good. Oh, that was the one that was there before. My bad. That one actually could have stayed. Yeah, the other one is kind of where this crease comes up. And again, it's very kind of subtle, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I'm like going through my internal thesaurus right there, and coming up blank. Subtle. It's very subtle. Okay, not bad. Not bad. So we've got a couple little things on there. Again, not much. Doesn't need that much on this. Should probably do the same for the other side because we still have plenty of time. I've passed that half-hour mark, so none of that matters anymore if we're going to be doing one versus the other. So we're just going to go straight for the normal hour. This will be good. We'll have a lot of this stuff done. Might be able to even start doing belt stuff after this. We need to send all of this stuff here that I have accumulated back through the pasta roller. Alright, we need to at least get it thin enough to start. If you make it too thick, you won't even start going through this. So you can see if you're just sending it through once, you can see there it can still give air pockets. This is why we kind of send it through multiple times. Just kind of iron all this stuff out. Okay. Now we're down to our 4. Oop. Whoa, let's move that back. Alrighty. Okay, so same thing as last time. I don't need half of this. So I'm going to start bigger than I need. Alright, I do believe we're going plenty far on that. She has the Final Fantasy X Titus looking going here, or Titus, or whoever I'm supposed to pronounce his name. I don't think they actually ever do physically pronounce his name in the game, even though it's a talking kind of game. I mean, he narrates the thing in first person, so, and everyone just kind of refers to him as you. Okay, so how are we doing? Not bad for a start there. Not bad. Yeah, I'm pushing in just enough to be able to see where this kind of fold is. I don't want to go too much that I'm actually pushing the thing on. I don't want it to stick quite yet. But I do want to see where that is. Okay, so we got that. We have Something like that. Okay, we're getting over there. We start off kind of wide, and on this, I'm angling this too much. Kind of go up. All right, so we kind of have that. Does that feel centered? I feel like I want to be up just a little bit more. All right, can the knife be nice to me right now? That would be great. That didn't really pull anything off. Nope, that's not right. That's... Alright, let's try to keep all the scraps together. It's not all clogging my workspace. Okay, so where'd we start? We kind of started around here. Then we come up and over. That's getting pretty close to what we need on that. Okay, so same as last time. Let's go and smooth you out. You kind of pack in whoop, all of these little areas. Yeah, I feel like the camera is slightly high right now. This is where I used to have my kind of slightly lower setup going, which I think works better for some things. But at the same time, a higher camera I feel like is helping with other things. So I'm not sure which camera setup I like right now. So we're just gonna go with this one for the time being. And maybe I can always switch back if I want to at some point, or if I realize I'm going to be doing certain types of work, I can always swap it back for specific things here or there. All right, you need to come back and get off. Okay, let's see if we can make this one feel a little more real while trying to maybe get this a little more centered. We are on camera, but I can see if I can get myself a little more centered. Okay, how are we doing on time? We still making there 10 minutes. That's not bad. Okay, I can't tell if I had a mark on there or if that was just something that I don't really have anything that can draw on, so it couldn't have been that. Oh, let's see here. I am running out of room on what I can actually touch and work on. Okay. We getting there, we getting there. All right, now let's make that second line. Comes up nice and easy, nice and slow. No rush on making these lines. Just do it nice and slow. Okay. round that off. Alright, so at least it's looking more like pants now, if nothing else. Well, whatever we call this. Alright, so here I should have more fabric in the middle, just a bit. It's still going to have that look, but I do need to, I feel like I just need to close the middle off just a little bit. Yeah, even if you have your pants ride up like that so much, they only ride up so much if you do that. I have a feeling this is going to take a decent amount of smoothing kind of off camera when I get to it. Okay, then the belt is going to come across after that. And then there's a little kind of semicircle piece that comes down on the bottom here, which can cover kind of where between where the spine and the bottom comes in. So I don't need to worry too much about that. Which, as I say that, I'm still smoothing out the same part again, despite saying I don't need to do this. Down here is going to need all of the smoothing, and this is probably going to be an off-camera thing. We're doing it on camera, whatever. Alright, so at least we have some kind of semblance of pant going on there. Now once again, this is a seam that comes up. It's going to run all the way under. This one comes straight up the back. Oy. The constant struggle of trying to find some place to hold her at this point. Oh, we need to get this thing hardened. Once we get this thing hardened, life becomes so much easier. At least in some ways. Okay, now on this one we have a couple more little folds to put in this. And then I think we're going to do the belt next time. Looking at the clock, might as well finish with these folds. So basically, I'm probably going to be calling it like this, the episode title or something like this, just folds. I think that would about cover everything that's going on here. There's one that comes there. From here, there's one that comes down. There's another one that comes down. You probably should have, if nothing else, the blocky end on this half. Oh, that's it. Looked like a musical note. That's perfect. That's exactly the look I'm going for. Alright, so first thing is kind of get the folds in there, and then with the folds on. This was the guy I was looking for earlier. He rolled under my laptop. Now we can bring that down. Okay, and then the yoga pant part. This is coming out about twice as far as it needs to. Not feeling this one right now. But then again, the other ones took some work as well before they got kind of feeling a little more right. So not everything comes quickly. Some things just take time. Just need to be worked a little bit. And then it kind of comes together in the end. See, we have a little bit of subtle going on that. Should be looks like there's supposed to be another little one that kind of comes up at a steeper angle from down in the bottom. Now the two can almost touch, but they don't necessarily want to touch. Have a little space in the middle. We lost this. Let's keep that there. But this is generally what we're looking at. Let's see, so let's get you back off, put you back on, and I can see at least one more, which is in kind of the same place it is on the other side. And that's coming up from this corner here. This one kind of coming up and in. Oh, we are pretty much at the hour mark. So I'm going to do this one guy, one more over here, and then next time is going to be... I can picture next one being a shorter one as kind of belt and kind of any other little touch-up things on here, and then, or maybe kind of the belt and some of the strap things going on. And then the time after that will probably be the pattern work. So, stuff to look forward to for the next couple. And then really, once that's done, I got to shrink the top here, and then we're in a hardening zone after that. So that's not a bad place to be. That's a little too much. So finally, after, like I said, for me, this is kind of like the doldrum area where it's a lot of work goes into a lot of these kind of little details that generally I don't feel like get seen anymore, but I think I'm past that stage. Usually it's more like just kind of getting the shoes and the feet. And we are definitely past that stage now. So this is actually getting more fun again. I am having a lot more fun on this part than I had, say, the previous week's worth of stuff. So I'm getting more excited. You can start to see what this is actually supposed to look like. And this makes it fun. It's exciting. Let's start getting an actual character going. Even though I'm still cracking up that I had 100% remembered her backstory and whatnot 100% incorrectly from when I did that very first, oh, who's my next model gonna be kind of session back during the Bang one. I just still can't believe how far off I was on that. Oh well, memory is not always 2020. Maybe I need to take some medication that came from jellyfish or something. I don't know. Oh, doctors found this thing. It's great. It can help you remember everything. Maybe some obscure detail things like that don't need to get committed to memory 100%, but oh well, whatever. In any event, we now much more have a character going here. It's starting to actually look like pants, which is good. The belt is gonna definitely sell that a lot more than what we have right now. Oh, I have sexy pose going again. Let's get the arms back. And we're getting a lot more stuff kind of going. I think the legs wound up a little thicker here once again than what is on that, which is kind of par for the course for me. Everything winds up just a little thicker than what I initially planned for. But they're still skinnier than I have had on other characters, so we're doing fine on that. But yeah, a lot of subtle stuff. I'll finish off a couple folds. Like I didn't do all the ones down here, so I'll finish off and kind of touch up some of the folds between now and the next session. But yeah, figure is going to be kind of belt and or kind of the strap stuff, getting that work. We have this ridiculous one that comes here, kind of wraps around, comes up. So we'll get some of those in, and then yeah, we'll get into the pattern stuff, and that will definitely hopefully make this thing pop at that point. So until then, this is where we are, and that is where we're going to be. So till next session, just enjoy.